Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. If you watched me just moments ago, finished up the live review of 4 Year Strong Enemy of the World 10-year re-recording. So if you are a fan of them, thank you for watching that. Thank you for coming to hang out. If not, go watch that. I know that it's probably a completely different crowd of people, but nonetheless very fun, and I absolutely love that record, so I had to do it. But thank you for coming to join me. This new band that I found out about not too long ago, Love Is Noise. I believe they are the project that used to be that features former members of Lotus Eater. I really did like their last record before unfortunate things happened to their band and they disbanded. But I really wanted to check this band out, check this album out. Euphoria, where were you? I can't even read apparently. But yeah, really like this band. And again, they got a shout out from Jason Butler. So I feel like if that's any indicator on what a good band is, I feel like he's gonna know that certainly. So gonna get through all 6 songs. I have not listened to any of these, so this is a brand new album for me to listen to. So if you can, go support Love Is Noise. I have left links in the description to go support them, and if you can stream this album, I'm sure it'd be greatly appreciated. I know one of the songs does feature Jason on it, which is very cool. And I feel like that is high notoriety if you can have Jason Butler on a track. So we're gonna get into the first song, which is called Nothing. A lot of people said their band has more of a like shoegazy sort of vibe, so we're gonna have to give it a listen and see what's going on. So let's get into the first track. This one is called Nothing. Woo! Very Loathe-esque. so heavy. I love it. That was sick. Guys, that was track 1 off of this. I guess it's an album. Euphoria, Where Were You? By the band Love Is Noise. This album came out on Friday, so go give it some love in the links in the description. I did notice in the wiki, they did mention that this band is heavily influenced by the following bands. Loathe, of course. We love Loathe. As well as Glassjaw, Thornhill, Void of Vision, James and the Cold Gun, and Harriet. I do feel like they have kind of the combination of not only Loathe, but I definitely heard some influences from Thornhill, especially with their more current release, Heroin, as well as Void of Vision in terms of like the heaviness. But I also feel like they take a lot of influence from Loathe as well in terms of the heaviness department. But yeah, very shoegazy, very very aggressive. Not very surprised by that, considering they were both in a pretty heavy band prior to this, being Lotus Eater. So I do think that this one was very good. I thought it was very heavy and very much in my lane of what I like. I feel like people already know my love for Loathe, as well as Thornhill and Void of Vision. Those are all really fantastic bands, and I feel like this is definitely up there in those sorts of bands. So if you do like any of those 3 bands I mentioned, you're probably going to like this band a lot, because definitely has a similar vibe to that. So I love just the aggressive nature of it. I think it's mostly just guitar and drums, and then obviously vocals, whether it be cleans and screams. And I think it's just got this really cool dynamic to it, and I like the fact that, again, there is this sort of shoegazy sort of element to it. Meatball, what do you think? What do you think of the track? I think he thinks it's brutal, right? It's a brutal track, right? Put you down, buddy. But yeah, I overall really enjoyed this one. I think for a good introduction to what the band sounds like, I think they did a fantastic job. So go check out Nothing, track number 1. We're gonna get into track number 2, which is Wonderland. So let's give this one a listen.
Cry
Guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track 2. This one is called Wonderland, and is off of Love Is Noise' newest record, Euphoria, Where Were You? I feel like, again, keeping with the similar trend, I do like this song. It has more of a sort of indie kind of shoegazy sort of feel, which I really dig. I feel like if you do like Two-Way Mirror by Loathe, again, this is like pretty much it with just clean vocals as well. And I think that overall, really fun track. I love just the ethereal nature of the track. I think that has a lot to do with just, again, that sort of shoegazy element that the band is bringing. But yeah, I do appreciate that, and I think their vocalist has a really unique vocal styling. I love the sort of gritty tonality that he has when singing. I like that aspect of the way that he's included that into his music, which is really nice. I think that adds a little bit more dynamic than just like, okay, as much as I could probably just say like, okay, they are like very similar in sound to Loathe. I think that adds a little bit of dynamic that I feel like maybe people who do like Loathe might take a little bit of a different approach with. So do really like this. Again, this one was more of a vibey track compared to Nothing, which I do appreciate. But yeah, overall, really fun track, really good one, and I think it's a nice contrast to what Nothing brought. So we're going to move into track number 3, which is For You. So let's give this one a listen. I like the synthy sort of element. That's tight. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is track 3 for you from the band Love is Noise. White Locust says, saw them on Thursday. Great show. I imagine you saw them in the UK. Would love to see them. I feel like they would be a really cool band to see live. I'd love to listen to the dynamics of this band live, because I think it's only a 2-piece if my informational search was correct, but I do like this sort of synthier elements that were brought in this track. I think there was some really cool parts along with that, and I do appreciate the fact that because they're using like more baritone guitars, I like the fact that it's not just like, okay, we have a really heavy drop tune guitar, let's just like hit them right in the face with just some heaviness, which I think in certain moments, like, you can hear there's a lot a thought process that goes into, adding those heavier elements. I don't think it's necessarily like, okay, we have a really heavy band, let's try to maximize that potential. I think they use it as more of a dynamic piece, which is really cool. And I kind of find that similarly to what Loathe does as well, where, they have some songs that are a little bit more technical, a little bit more heavier on that aspect. But then, you have songs where there's a lot more, I want to say open tuning, but there's a lot more chords that just they allowed to ring out and kind of drone. And I feel like with this song particularly, there is this really kind of cool drone aspect to the track, even though I think instrumentally I thought it was really solid, as well as just, again, this sort of electronic kind of synth layering going on, that was really tight. I will say that their vocalist has, again, such a unique voice, and I do like the fact that that he's just doing a really great job of kind of switching it up from the atypical, okay, he could just go for a scream, but I like the fact that most of this is just, again, a nice, aggressive kind of singing voice. So gotta give a shout out to Cameron. He's doing a fantastic job as well. So really good shit. I like this thus far. Very moody, and I really do think that this is again a very fantastic track. White Locust would like to know what your favorites are on this record, and how they were live, because I feel like comparatively it would be very interesting to see how they were live versus listening to the studio record here. So, but anyway, while that happens, we're going to be listening to track 4. This one is called Movement, so let's give it a listen. those drums are nasty. Oh, this one was wild. Breaking a sweat out here. Guys, that was track 4. This one was called Movement. Really dug this one. White Locust says, very tight band live. They have a bassist and drummer for the live show. Had backing tracks for electronic parts, so pretty spot on for the recording. I'd be curious if I imagine at some point they'll do, they will be doing a live version of this song with Jason, because I do love his feature. I think that I am a huge fan of Jason Butler. I've always really loved what he does. And for me, he's just a perfect addition to this song. His screaming, really on point. But I love his clean singing. That's like, so good. And for him to kind of do both sides of the coins on this track, I think that was really tight, and I think it matches the energy of what I know Jason Butler to do. I know he has a couple different projects, the Fever 333, as well as he's in Pressure Cracks, and then he used to be in this band called Let Live. So I think he just does a great job of holding it down on this track. But I will say this one was like the perfect mix of like heavy, gritty, like just madness, and I love that. I like the fact that they just kind of hit me with like a nice, really solid chorus as well. Overall, I think this is probably the best representation of this album thus far. I haven't listened to The Greatest Love or Euphoria yet, but I feel like with Movement, this one has all the dynamic pieces that I really enjoy about this band thus far, being like 4 tracks in. But I will also say, I think like sonically, like if I had to kind of give a song to someone for them to get an idea about this band, this is probably the best song to do that with. So I don't know if this was one of the singles, but if it wasn't, I'd be very surprised, because I think it fits super well with their catalog. But yeah, this one was stupid heavy. Reminded me a lot of, again, the aspects of what Loathe brings to the table, as well as it gave me a little bit of like Void of Vision kind of vibes, especially with that like last like dumb heavy riff. Love that. I love when something's really dissonant and really heavy, and I felt like that was really brought in a track like this. So overall, loving this record so far. I think this really checks all the boxes for me of what I've been really jamming with as of currently. So we'll say this one spot on. Another fantastic track, and to know that they sound just as good live as they do on this album, I'm hoping they come to the States soon. So very excited. But we're gonna move it on to the 5th track, which is The Greatest Love. So let's give it a listen. Ooh, that really blasted out of drums. I like that. Cool. Nice stylistic choice.
The truth to me,
kind of has like an industrial feel. Wow, all right. Oh! chorus. Oh, the tone. All right, guys, that was track 5, The Greatest Love, off of Love Is Noise' newest record, Euphoria, Where Were You? I really like this one a lot. I find a lot of similar dynamics to some of the previous songs. I would say even like For You. It definitely has that sort of more ethereal sort of vibe. And again, I like the fact that they're using the baritone guitar as like more of a dynamic piece. I know I mentioned that on a previous song, but it really does, it does really fill the song up super well. And I think it allows for really cool moments of just like having some like really, really like powerful guitar parts, and then also with the fantastic clean singing from Cameron. It sounds really cool, and I love that dynamic. As well as that, I think the electronic elements of this track are really well integrated into this song. I think it just really meshed well with their sound, and I think this is another fantastic track. If you are not really familiar with Love Is Noise, I think this would be another one I'd recommend to new listeners, because I think it has a lot of dynamic pieces, but also at the same time, I think it utilizes a lot of that clean singing, which I think is very fantastic. And I know I mentioned Cameron already, but yeah, he's an awesome vocalist. So really dug this so far. I know we're on the last track coming up, but overall I think this is a very solid showing for this band, and not really knowing too much about them other than the fact that they used to be a part of Lotus Eater, which again would make sense dynamically for the sound. Not really surprised at how good this record is, because it really has some nice punch to it, but also at the same point, I think it has this real cool like ethereal shoegazy indie-ish sort of sound that I think meshes well with the sort of heavier dynamics of what this band brings. So we're gonna get into the last track, the title track, Euphoria, Where Were You? Let's give it a listen, guys. This is a mood. I like this. All right, guys, if you're tuning in, this is the last song off of Love Is Noise' newest record, Euphoria. Where Were You? Which is the last track, the title track of the record. I think this is a really great tie-in to the album. I would say it's a great sort of ending track, it being one of the longest songs on the record at almost 5.5 minutes. I think it does a really great job of encapsulating you in the song. It does have those, again, those shoegazy sort of ethereal elements, but then also just really hammering it home with some like really great distorted guitars that really add a nice little dynamic piece to the song collectively. I really think that this has a lot of the different elements on this album collectively as well, which is really nice to hear. And I think that, again, they borrow a lot from bands like Thornhill, especially with their newest album, Heroin, just kind of keeping with that more like clean, ethereal nature in terms of the singing. I love the falsetto of their clean singer. I think he really added a lot of dynamic to this song particularly, more than I feel like maybe some of the other songs on the record, but overall, really fun album. Also, that I think that, again, I don't want to feel like I'm just saying like, oh, they're just a copycat of Loathe. I think there's a lot of different elements that are involved with this band that I feel like maybe Loathe don't quite hit on, but I feel like they're probably about the closest approximation in terms of sound. There is, again, that sort of heaviness to them that I feel like Loathe does well. I will also say another band that I feel like they have a similar akin to would be another band called Sleep Token. I think that they really kind of do a really great job with dynamics as well, and I feel like this is another band that kind of, if I were to kind of put like a Venn diagram of different bands together and, Love Is Noise being in the middle, I'd probably put Loathe on there, Thornhill, a little bit of Void Division, and then also Sleep Token. I feel like those four bands collectively really kind of, if you like any four of those combinations, if you like all four of them, then this is definitely the band to check out, because I think they definitely have elements of that. Also, the fact that I think they're only really, live, they're different. They have a different setup, but for two people, I think it's pretty impressive to come up with this different kind of sonic landscape that I feel like a lot of people are going to enjoy, and I hope that you give Love Is Noise a listen. My personal favorites, I think I enjoyed Movement the most, but I would also say that's probably tied with The Greatest Love. I think those two are my two favorites, along with Nothing. I think those three kind of all put together, I think those are my favorites off the record, but honestly they were all really, really well put together, well produced, and I think they have their rightful spot with other bands that I mentioned previously. So definitely give them a listen. I will leave links below to go give Love Is Noise a listen. If you can go stream Euphoria, Where Were You? I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, overall, very fun record. I'm glad that I had took the dive and got into this band, because I think they're very cool, and definitely a band to keep your eye out for, certainly. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to share, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. Going to be doing some more of these. Probably will be checking out the new Boundaries record tomorrow on the 31st. So if you like Boundaries and you have not listened to it like myself, I hear it is a real dummy heavy one. So come join me. And make sure to hit that bell so you're notified of when I go live. But thank you guys for watching. Please go check out Love Is Noise, and talk to you guys soon. Peace.